Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, I know, I'm sorry. The end of last year was just an absolute nightmare of a time, but we're back and we're painting and we're doing new content. Hooray! As of this video though, we've reached 100 subs. Thank you so much for helping me get this far. This is just for fun, I'm not looking to make a living out of it, this is just for fun, but wow, 100 subs, thank you so much for keeping me going, and thank you for all the positive comments and advice and feedback for getting this off the ground. This has been great. Now going forward with the channel, we're going to be doing the Raging Showcase every other month. Just give me a bit more time to try and do a better job of miniatures and painting and stuff like that. And we're also doing live streaming, at the moment mostly on Tuesdays, but do like and subscribe because I do tend to do it here and there when I feel like it, especially with it being lockdown 3.0. I'm probably going to date myself there, but still, we're in lockdown 3.0, so I'm doing some live streaming here and there for video games. And in the future, when we get in the summer, we're getting a new setup. We're getting a new computer set up, so we'll be doing some build and paint videos and probably some live streaming as well, like some building live streaming stuff. I'm just at the bench doing a thing. But yeah, that's going to be coming up in the summer, maybe sooner, hopefully, who knows. But yeah, definitely going to be happening this year, so that's that. But again, thank you for the subs, thank you for your continued support on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, obviously. And yeah, let's get into this month's, well, I say this month, these 3 months worth of miniatures. Let's go for it. I brought this on October ready to do for November, and unfortunately life got in the way, we never got around to it. But there's this Dragoth from Reaper Bones. Great miniature. The throne is fantastic, however I would maybe recommend getting a different model to sit in it, or replacing the head and sword, because they're not that great. It's okay, but I think if I was to do this again, or maybe even in the future, I'm going to replace the skull and replace the sword. But the throne was a really nice little model to do. Unfortunately, I can't get rid of the bend on it, even though I've tried hot water and stuff like that. It's just the nature of the plastic that Reaper Bones is made out of. But still, it was a fun model, and there's loads of great little bits of detail in there, like the skin and stuff like that hanging around. It's a really good model, and it gave me a chance to try a couple of different new things. Okay, this is Mr. Bones by Reaper Miniatures. This was just a fun little afternoon paint job. I got him cheap from eBay. He's only a very small model. That's a 32mm base. And it was just a fun little paint job in an afternoon I did. Nothing special, just a nice palette cleanse because work was busy and there's so much stuff going on in my personal life. I just needed something to do, but I didn't have the mojo to do a big in-depth paint job. So this kind of filled that gap quite nicely. And it's just a nice little palette cleanse. It was fun, easy, nothing too strenuous. And yeah, it was a nice little model. Definitely recommend picking some of these up. I do have another one with a shovel. And I'm going to do a bit of a mini dio on a larger base, I think, for that. Okay, the Warforged Fighter and the next two are from the same set by Guild Force 9. I bought these for the second lockdown in England in November. Unfortunately, I got called into work and had to work at that time and never got around to doing them until just after Christmas. There was lots of personal stuff going on, stuff with work, so I didn't have the mojo, I didn't have the want to do anything, but I finally got around to getting these done. And these were really great. Gave me a lot of chance to kind of play with a lot more metallics and a lot more kind of ways to do metallics and colouring them. This was done with Citadel's Lead Belcher and Darkstar Molten Metals Steel. And that's the Molten Metals paints are really nice metallics. I would highly recommend getting hold of some of them. But other than that, it's a standard paint job. For the eyes, we used contrast paint, which is the yellow, Yandan yellow, I think it is, and that was great. It really gave a good life to the eyes, and yeah, that worked out really nice with a bit of white as the undercoat. Really made them very bright and vibrant, and yeah, it was I definitely recommend this set, which we'll go into more detail about. There is one issue, but we'll discuss that in a minute. Out of the 3 Warforged, this monk is by far my favourite one. The pose is so dynamic and there's so much kind of life to the model. We did a similar thing with the eyes by using one of the contrast paints. We used the orange, which is Griffhound Orange, I think. Not sure. Probably right. But with the armour, instead of using lead belcher, we used Vallejo Game Colour Silver, which was really bright and vibrant. It was an absolutely beautiful silver colour. And then we washed that with a Drakenhof Nightshade, thinned down some Ironbreaker a bit more than you would usually, so you can still see the blue, then highlighted with some whole silver. It really gives it that nice blue tint to the armour, and that was a great result. I was so happy with that. And yeah, all these little bits of detail are just so wonderful. This is by far the best miniature from the pack. Okay, and finally I have the Warforged Cleric, the third from this set. As you may notice, the staff looks a bit Stormcast Eternal. There's a reason for that. That's because it is. The original staff broke when I was painting it, so we had to do some jiggery pokery to get it to fix it. We tried some Stormcast double-handed maces. That didn't work. Even trimming them down didn't work, so I found a Stormcast Eternal character from the Mortal Realms part work by Hachette, and I used their staff to do this, and it works really, really well. Other than that, there's not a big issue. A lot of the white, I used the contrast paint, Apothecary White, which I do genuinely love. I think it's a really nice white. And same with the eyes, using contrast for that. But other than the staff breaking, it's fantastic. Everything's beautifully sculpted. I would just suggest, if you get this set, be very careful with that. But it gave me a chance to try pinning and customization, which was quite nice, to be fair. But pinning, that was a bit of a pain because the drill bits I had to be so small, and I broke 2 of them, which was wonderful. But all in all, really good set. I think it's about £25. I got it from Goblin Gaming, but yeah, I would recommend this. I would just be very cautious with this particular miniature. It could have been a moulding issue I had. Your mileage may vary. Okay, now this is Judge Dredd from Warlord Games. This comes in a pack of 2, so you get Judge Dredd, and then you get Judge Dredd on his Lawnmaster, which is coming up next, funnily enough. These are really nice and detailed. Absolutely beautifully detailed. With this Pozo, because of where his hand with his lawgiver is, it was hard to paint that detail in his face, but we got around that. Now when we were doing this, we used Cantor Blue, Drakenhof Nightshade, and that Citadel painting method, and when it was all done, the highlights were too stark. So we did another wash of Drakenhof Nightshade to tie it all back together. Looks really good. I'm really happy with this, and I can't wait to paint more of this line. And because they are resin, you get for £16 you do get quite a lot, and it's nice because you get this model, him on his Lawmaster, and you get combat cards as well, which all go towards playing the I'm the Law game. Really nice models. Definitely recommend getting these. I'm just not sure what to do with the bases yet. Yes, I could have finished them before doing this video, but I still don't know what to do with the bases, to be absolutely honest. If you have any ideas, description, put in the comments below, that'd be fantastic. By the moment, I'm just keeping the bases blank because I don't know what to do. And here we have Judge Dredd on his Lawmaster. Great model. Again, fantastic. Detail on this, really easy to get to. And he doesn't come on his Lawmaster as well, you actually built him separately, which is good. So you can get in all the nice areas and really pick out that detail. And this was great because it's the first vehicle I've done in a long time, so I wanted to focus quite a lot on layers and highlights and where the light's going to be. Similar thing, did a wash all over to tie it all together. But I'm probably going to put him on a base as well once I decide what I'm going to use as a base. And maybe I'll look at finding some resin stuff or some TT combat things. I don't know yet. But as I said before, if anyone's got a suggestion what I could do or what to use, because I do want these suburban cityscape kind of paving roads, please let me know in the comments and I'll have a look. Okay, this is Baron Abotti by TT Combat. This was an exclusive to Miniature War Games magazine, and a really, really beautifully done resin miniature. It was quite hard to find one that wasn't broken though. Now, in the magazine itself, these are the colours it shows you, and I went with them mainly because I like green and I like purple. I do want to get another one so I can do a different colour scheme, but this was fantastic. Two of my favourite colours, and it gave me a chance to do lots of fine detail. Like on her corset, all the banding around it, even allowed me to paint her lips red. And it was just a really fun standout miniature. This took me a couple of days to do and really helped me get my blending, get that smoother and get the highlights functioning correctly. If you can get the magazine or you can find this on eBay, I would definitely recommend it even if you're not playing the game. It would be a great character in D&D or Pathfinder or anything like that. It is a really nice miniature, and I really want to get some more of these Carnival miniatures because they do look fantastic. So that's going to be something I'm going to be looking in at the future. Okay, the Mozazan Bone Shaper by Games Workshop. I was terrified of painting this miniature. Generally quite intimidated by it. You're probably asking why. I don't know. It was just so much detail, and I was like, I don't know how to do this. And I started just by doing little bits. I did the Rakar flesh, and then I did the bone, I did the cloth. And over time I just got into it more and more, and then I realised I was actually painting it a lot more regularly and spending a lot more time on it. And it was a case of I wanted to get a lot of the blends really nice and smooth, and really get the fine details on the cloth and make sure it all flowed really nicely. And I think I've done that. You can tell by the green magic, that's looking good. The cloth I think's really got a good contrast on it, and even the on the spines, I guess the spines, fingers, whatever on its head and shoulders, even just getting that subtle blend there is really nice. I'm really proud of myself for this, and that really lent what I learnt here to go into the next miniature, which is another Mortazon miniature. This time it's the Bone Reaper. Absolutely great. So what I learned on the Bone Shaper, I took to this and did a similar thing. Originally the scythe was all going to be the spectral greeny-esque colour, but after speaking to a friend one night, we decided it'd be really nice if it was a bronze with some weathering on it and some of the oxidization you can see. And it's a very subtle effect, but I really think it gives a lot of character and a lot of depth. And if you think of a backstory behind it, which I did, it makes perfect sense. I will say that this miniature is a bit fragile, especially where it's standing on its base and some of the parts of its cloak, because one part of it broke off and it's glued on. You can probably tell if you already have the miniature, otherwise you're not going to know, I don't think. Maybe it's just because I'm seeing it, I don't know. But both these Mortazon miniatures, really good fun, really great to put together and really fun to paint. And I don't know why I was intimidated by them at all. But after what I learned on the Bone Shaper, taking it to this, it's absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed them. May get some more in the future. Definitely want to get Nagash, but I'm not going to build an army for them. It's just a fun paint project. But definitely recommend getting these if you can find a use for them in Dungeons & Dragons or an RPG game. I would definitely recommend getting these. And they're really quite intimidating when you put them up against standard-sized D&D characters. Really good. Definitely check these. Thanks for coming back. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Take care. And we'll see you next time. Toodles.